Today we're going to be making our own oil paints with pigments that I collected from various locations here in Utah. Let's talk about the tools that we need to make the paint from the natural pigments. So the first thing that you're going to need is, of course, the pigment. This specific rock was collected in St. George last fall when I went with my family, and it is such a beautiful, rich red color. As you can see here, I actually went ahead and ground some up last night in preparation for this video, but look at that color. It's this beautiful terracotta, and I am totally obsessed with this. I'm so excited to make paint out of this today. The next thing I recommend having, this maybe isn't totally necessary because you can break up the bigger rocks in here, but I like using a hammer because it makes the process a little bit easier. Then you're going to want a mortar and pestle, a fine sieve or sifter. The next thing that you're going to want is a glass grinding plate and a glass molar, but they're really neat. They have kind of a very, very fine texture to it. So kind of like a frosted glass. So it's on the bottom of the molar and it's on the top of the glass grinding plate. You're going to need your binder, which for us, because we are making oil paints, we're going to be using linseed oil. Next, you're going to want some palette knives, and then you're going to need a way to store your paint once you're finished mixing it. Those can be little glass containers, but I went ahead and ordered some empty paint tubes, and these are going to be really neat to use, I think. Now, this book is not required, but it is something that is really fun to flip through when you're getting into paint making with pigment. While we're flipping through this book, I want to talk about using different binders for different types of paint. Walnut oil is also a great option for oil paints, and for tempera paint, you can use egg yolks. To make watercolors or gouache, we would use gum arabic as the binder. And if we were making acrylics, we would use something like Golden Artist Colors 100 or gel mediums or similar acrylic mediums. I've actually never made paint before. I've just studied it up these last 6 months, and I thought it would be fun to just take you along on the process of my first time making it. So again, I'm not a professional. We are doing this together. Now that we know what we need, let's go ahead and start the process. When collecting rocks, you want to be mindful about where you pick them up. The right kinds of rocks are going to be soft. Scrape it against a bigger rock and see if it leaves any pigment behind. Ethically sourcing rocks for paint pigment involves collecting small, loose amounts of soft, colorful rocks like ochre or iron-rich clay from abundant sources such as rivers, beaches, or private properties with permission. Follow the honorable harvest by taking only what you need, avoiding protected areas, and ensuring you don't disrupt local habitats. One thing I failed to mention is it's probably a good idea to wear a face mask and possibly gloves. I really do want to protect my lungs from breathing in the particles. Okay, now we've got a nice little pile, little crushed up rocks. Now we are going to add this to our little mortar and pestle. So the next step here is to grind this up into as fine of a powder that we can. And so I'm going to take this, my mortar, my pestle, and I'm just gonna kind of hit it a little bit to break up the pieces so it gets a little bit smaller. Once I feel like the pieces have gotten pretty small, that's when I'm gonna start kind of grinding it into a powder. So you can see that it's getting a little bit more fine, a lot more powder in there. So let's keep going. I've heard that this process can take some time. The finer you get it, the better quality your paint is going to be. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Okay, we're gonna take this fine powder that we just ground and we're gonna sift it so that we can separate the bigger chunks from the finer powder. Okay, and then we're gonna grind this up again. That was everything. We got all of the big chunks, so it's fairly fine, but there's still quite a bit of grit. So I'm gonna put all of this, now that we got all the big chunks done, we're gonna put it all back into here, and I'm going to grind it a while longer, just to get it as fine as I can. There's something so unique about doing this. I mean, to think that humans have been making paint this way since the beginning of time. Like cave drawings, they ground up pigment and they mixed it with a medium and they put it on the walls, and it just is so satisfying. That's just the word. That's the word I'm thinking of, satisfying. And now it's time for the step that I know I have been waiting a long time for. We're gonna add a decent amount of the pigment here, but we're not gonna start with too much. Then we need to add some of our binder. So we're just going to use this Gamblin refined linseed oil. Make a little well, so just a few drops. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it together. Okay, we're definitely gonna want more oil than that. Okay, because I added a little more oil than I would like, I'm going to go ahead and add a little more pigment. Okay, now I think it's time to use the molar. Might just be too thick. I think it's absorbing a lot of the oil as we go. So let's go ahead and make it quite a bit thinner and see what it does from there. My glass plate is sliding all over the place, so I'm actually going to add these little silicone feet to the bottom of it. As you first get going, it's going to sound like sandpaper, but as it gets creamier and creamier, it's going to start to get a little quieter, almost like a whisper or kind of like a swish. So I can tell it's getting finer, but it's definitely taking a lot of elbow grease to get it to a creamy texture. It's a less gritty, but it's still gritty on a finer scale. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's definitely turning into more of a whisper. It's not so loud. Unless I push a little harder and then it gets louder. But it's still not as grinding as it was at the beginning. So the consistency of the oil paint is really up to you. I've learned that some pigments require more oil than others, so like some pigments are more thirsty. I tend to like my oils a little bit thinner, so I think I will add some more oil. Oh my gosh, it's just so delicious. Oh, look at that. Still a little gritty though. Let's go some more. So something interesting that I learned today about pigments is that if you buy a pigment from the store, not this because I ground this myself in the mortar and pestle, but if you buy a pigment that is ready to go, it is so fine that often the grains are as small as or smaller than a blood cell. So if that gives you an idea of how small we're trying to grind this down into with the molar, it's really small, and I don't think I'm gonna try and get it that small today. It's creamy, it has a slight grain to it, just kind of like a powder, but I think we're gonna call it good. Look at that, that is so beautiful. All right, let's take our little paint tubes and we're going to go ahead and stick it in. Now, normally I probably would want more paint in these tubes before I used it or closed it up, but I wanted to give these a try. For smaller batches, it might make more sense to have like little glass jars, because ideally I would just fill this right up. Okay, let's pinch it off. I feel like we got some air in there. One thing's for sure, this is definitely not a super clean process. I can take some pliers and just pinch it off. And there we have it. Now we're gonna go ahead and try our new paint. I have a little gessoed panel here, and we're just gonna test out our paint and have some fun, maybe mix it with some of my other store-bought colors. First, let's open up our tube. And look at that. There's our homemade paint right there. Now we're gonna try blending it with some white. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so today we went from rock to powder to paint to a little painting sketch. Well, you guys, that was a super neat process, going from a rustic stone like this to my own handmade oil paint. I've added most of these supplies to my favorite supplies list, so if you'd like to download that, just click the link in the top of the description. And then if you'd like to see more about how I make this little studio space work for me, you can go ahead and watch this next video right here and get a tour. Thanks guys, see you in the next video.